The banning of TikTok. Um, I think it's laughable. Some of the same people, I'm gonna call people on my side, people who are right wing. Um, they want to say they're for freedom of speech, but then they block people on their huge platform. So for me, when you got a huge platform and you limit people to speak on your platform, you're limiting freedom of speech. But then these people are going to complain about a private company or a regular company limiting their speech. You know, you can't have it both ways because your platform is basically a mini social media anyway. You go up on Twitter and you see these huge accounts with all these people commenting. Um, and if you block people, they can't comment on your feed. Um, it's just laughable how these people are for freedom of speech, but then they limit other people's speech. Back to the TikTok, the whole thing is they don't like that it's a Chinese run company. Um, they're collecting our data. But here's my thing. So is Facebook. So is Google. So does any social media I sign up for. Probably Twitter too at this point. I'm sure it was before. Um, I'm not so sure now. I'm sure they collect our data too and they sell it. So it's like they already have my data. You know, what do I care? Um, if they want to say TikTok is their algorithms are uh, a certain way, I get it. I don't like the censorship on TikTok. Um, how they direct things a certain way for Americans to dumb us down or whatever. But that's what people want. I mean, people used to watch Jerry Springer. How much does that dumb you down? It's kind of like the same thing, but like a shorter format. If you talk about degeneracy, that's what they say is like the degeneracy or whatever. Um, People can go and learn what they want. Uh, to limit things to people is going against the First Amendment. I just think the whole thing about TikTok and banning TikTok is just idiotic at this point. And the people who are advocating it are going against freedom of speech. Like I said, just because they're Chinese owned or whatever, um, does it doesn't mean what's the difference between American owned? They could America just because they're an American company doesn't mean they don't have Chinese influence like at Nike. Um, so the whole thing about TikTok is a waste of time. I'm not even like really on TikTok that much anymore. I don't use it too much. I don't go through the videos like I used to. Not saying I won't. I go through my stints of time where I'll spend a good few hours going through videos or whatever. It kind of gets you like understanding what's going on right now, like getting a perception of what's happening now, trends that are happening now, um, evaluating people, evaluating society where it's at. So I like to go through it like, oh, you're wasting your time. I'm not wasting my time, dude. I mean, whatever I do in this lifetime will be forgotten about. I've said this before. I can restore a car and spend a lot of time on that, and yeah, that's cool, and I could build it up so it's awesome. But what if somebody crashes it? What if there's a flood and it destroys it? I mean, and then all that time was it wasted? It's just like it's my time. If I want to spend my time working out all day, or restoring a car, building a brand, or building a company, or working 90 hours a week, to try to sustain some type of lifestyle to make, because I care what other people think about me, or I want to play video games all day. That's my time. Do what I want with it. Um, Especially if I'm paying all my bills. Like, who the hell are you to tell me what I can do or what I can't do with my time? And who the hell are you to call me a loser if I pay all my bills? If I'm paying all my bills, who the hell are you to tell me what I'm supposed to do with my time? Like, there's all these inspirational people. Oh, do business, you're gonna be successful. Like, yeah, being an entrepreneur and owning a bunch of different companies, that's success to you, and that's success to most people. But to me, I raised my kids a little bit better, I feel, than I was raised. I'm not saying anything bad about the way I just have more awareness than I think that my parents did. I have access to more things. Like, I have so much more tools than they had, to have understanding about things. A lot of people, when they had kids back in the day, they didn't know how to handle things. They might have had a general understanding, but there's like there's books and stuff like that. But like, I think the way I raised my kids had a decent balance. Are they perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. There's no perfectness. So, if I was to die right now, I'm successful. I'm successful in my own eyes. I didn't have to rely on the government to raise my kids. I didn't have to rely on child support to raise my kids. I did it on my own. I got full custody. I took care of them. They had everything that they needed. Um, One graduated high school. The next one's about to graduate too. Uh, they're doing fairly well in their lives. They're not getting into trouble. They've never been arrested. They're doing pretty good. Then so that's a success to me. Now, me writing a book, or I'm about to come out with another one, or all the music I put out, or these videos, am I successful with this stuff? No, and that's fine. Certain people, it's hard to get successful when you're an independent person like that, and that's fine that I'm not successful, and I'm probably never going to be successful in it. Um, but in my eyes, I've at least tried, right? I at least tried. I failed miserably, but at least I tried. Um, because that's what I wanted to do. Um, that's what I want to do with my time. They say, oh, when you get to be old, like you're on your deathbed, you're gonna look back and be like, all this time's wasted, or blah 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 blah. It's like, I'm gonna be on my deathbed for what, a couple weeks, and I can look back in my life and I can be like, yeah, it didn't, you know, I could have done things a little bit better, a little bit differently, but I'm the same place basically, because we're all gonna pass away anyway. So it's like, at that time, that's what I wanted to do with my time. Um, and that's life. You live and you learn. Um, as long as like people take care of themselves and they're responsible for themselves, people shouldn't be telling people what to do with their time. If they want to be a furry or something, go ahead. Who cares? Um, or something else that I can't really talk about on here because they'll get banned because um, superiority that these people are on. Um, yeah, that might get misconstrued for something else, a different type of group, but it has to do with dresses. Okay, that's just, I'll leave it at that, and then you can figure it out on your own what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, it's like, we're at such a weird time right now. Um, and they don't want us. They want us suppressed. They want us completely suppressed. Was when it comes to speech. Uh, I would really like to see Elon get TikTok or some type of platform like that, because the platform's awesome. Um, Going up on Twitter and typing things out, it's annoying to me, honestly, because I'm trying to type stuff out and I hit the wrong buttons. The output is awesome. Like, there's so much output, and I can't put, like he was saying with the Neuralink, the input to try to put into the system is such a slow process. I'm typing, and then half the time I look stupid. Maybe I'm typing too much, I'm thinking too quickly, and then I miss out on words and people don't know what I'm talking about. And it'd be cool just to be like, just think what I'm thinking, all of a sudden it is up there, bam, instantly. I think about it, boom. And that's what's probably gonna happen. Where you think about it and it just pops up. And there'll be different security protocols of um, where you go to different places, and you have like look at your Facebook, right? Now you could have your profile exposed, and then you can hide things off of your profile where people can't see, whether it's like where you live or whatever. Well, I'm pretty sure when the Neuralink's gonna evolve to some point where when you go on when you go onto the net, you can you can hide certain things, certain parts of your brain or whatever. I don't know, man. But that's what I would think, is you'll be able to turn off certain thought patterns where people can't access everything in your brain when it comes to like memories or whatever. Your actual thoughts. Um, might go to some type of algorithm where I don't know. It's above my thinking process of how they would be able to do that, and it sounds so far out there, but it might not be that far fetched. And it might not take that much time to get there. You know what I noticed about people on Twitter is so divided. Okay, things are so divided. And you can't even call out people you support to try to have like olive branch to them, because they'll just continue to attack you. That's what they'll do, is like you'll throw out an olive branch, but like, yeah, I want Republicans and Democrats investigated, and they'll just continue to attack you and defend their side. And then they say you're in a cult. They say it all the time. You're in a cult. Even if you try to be like, hey, listen, man, I think for myself. I have critical thought. I criticize people I support. I don't support them 100% in everything that they say. They throw out that olive branch and they don't care. They're basic. They seem like they're all drones. They say the same thing. Like, I could post something and they literally all say the same thing. It's the same response. Whatever the TV told them, or their leaders, whatever the narrative is right this second. Um and that's what tells me there is no unification at this point. I don't know what there could be to unify America. These people are in a cult, and they say people like me are in a cult because, like, oh, MAGA, blah. Yeah, I support MAGA. Why do I support MAGA? Because at this point in my life, this thing is the biggest revolution for freedom I've ever seen in my life. Um, their revolution is communism. That's their revolution. Some backwards ass thinking. And they say that people like me are stupid and uneducated, which academically I'm not that smart, but I have a decent understanding about what communism has done, and it was what it is currently doing, and they completely ignore all that and think, oh, our brand of communism is going to be great. I listened to the Communist Manifesto of their leader, their ultimate granddaddy leader, Karl Marx, and he basically, it seems like a cold society that's not sustainable. You have to have like no human emotion to sustain that. Everyone makes the same amount. What's the point of innovating anything? What's the point of working harder to try to get ahead? Well, they look at women as a means of production. So it's like they don't even look at them as humans, where they have feelings and emotions. Um, that's what these people want to bring in, and I think that people. Okay, here's my thing. People are ignorant, or they conform. People are very conforming here in America. Probably a lot of places in the world where they'll just go along to get along. And that's why I think that probably communism is going to take over, but it's not gonna it's not gonna last long. There'll be a lot of starvation, and these people that are advocating for communism are going to be the first ones to starve to death. They're not going to be able to take care of themselves. The people who are MAGAs, the people who are self-sustaining, the people who are about their First and Second Amendments, these people usually grow food and produce food and know how to take. Not all, but I'm just saying, like a lot of them could do a lot better in the 1800s than these far leftists who are communists would do in the 1800s. But this is what I'm saying. Like, okay, I like to play sports games. Those are my favorite games. Whether it's Madden, MLB, NBA, or hockey. And this is what I've noticed. They put the same games out every single year with like a little tiny tweaks and roster updates. And people buy these games every single year, even though you can like download rosters that people put up there. Like people go through on their time for free because they like to do it, and they'll update the rosters, and then you can download them. Well, this is what people do. They'll buy the new Madden game, right? And so do all their friends. So because they like to play online together instead of playing last year's. So this is what they did with last year's, and this is what they do every year. They get they get the microtransactions. Maybe they'll buy the most expensive Madden that comes out because you get all the extra packs or whatever. I don't even play that game. I like to play franchise mode, but they like to get all the card trading packs and whatever. Um, and then they'll spend their actual money after that, to get higher up boosted whatever cards. And then all that money, all that time they spent last year, they don't get as credits for the next year. No, all that just is pretty much garbage, and they have to start over and do the same thing again. And these people do it every single year. Some of these people spend hundreds and maybe even like thousands of dollars on their little dynasty mode. And they do it. And I can't even blame the game designers for like not doing much to improve the game. Um because if people are so dumb that they're just going to buy the same game, you ain't going to do nothing. Why would you even waste your time? You're just, okay, I'm just going to repackage the same game and that's it. But people are so dumb they conform, they'll go with it, and instead of thinking to themselves like, this is the same game as last year. Why don't we just why are we doing this? Why don't we just play the game we have? Now that's what I do. I play the same game for a few years. Usually every 2 years because they take the servers down, and then I'll have like, okay, I'll think about getting an upgrade because they took the servers down. But it's just like, and I'll buy it on sale. I'll buy the game on sale. But it's like they buy this. It's like this is how people are. People are so conforming here in America. They can't think outside the box. They can't think outside the hive mind. And people are scared too. They don't want to say nothing because then they'll have they're afraid to have the sheep go against them. They're afraid to go against the narrative. They're afraid of looking dumb, and that's why they buy all the Nike stuff and the name brand stuff, and because they care about what everybody else thinks about them. I mean, I care a certain extent because I don't want people to think I'm some kind of a jerk. I try to treat people I meet in real life with respect. But I definitely don't care about trying to slave away to buy some crap to try to make them think I'm on some type of a higher pay scale to try to impress them like I'm in junior high. That's the thing is so many people have like a middle school mindset as adults. I gotta keep up with the Joneses. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. It's like, why? Why? I used to think that those trucks that were lifted, that had the big tires, were really cool, and I wanted that. And I'm like, all these guys have the same truck. They're all like that. Just like you're just sheep. You're just clones of each other. You're a robot. You're a drone. Um, that's why I think these people are just going to continue to vote communism, and I just don't think that and I could be wrong, but I think that the MAGA movement is a good movement, but I just don't think it's strong enough. I just don't think that it is strong. Don't get me wrong, and I just see so many people continuing to support the hive mind left communism crap. That I think eventually that's just gonna take over. You know. Um. It's like right now people are talking about the dollar collapse, and listen, man, and Brick should tell you something. Like when um Brazil, Russia, I think it's Brazil, Russia, China, and India all get together and form their own currency, what they want to be the world reserve currency. And you're talking about Iran, and you're talking about Saudi Arabia, thinking about trading their dollars in bricks for their oil instead of the world reserve currency. Listen, if that becomes a world reserve currency, our dollar is going to hyperinflate. It's going to hyperinflate so quickly out of existence. Um, and people who think that that cash in their retirement is safe, or um like their 401ks or their cash in the bank is safe, like you're gonna be in for a rude awakening, man. Like that's why I don't trust our dollar. I don't trust it at all. And I think it's just good to be diverse. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? I mean, we see all these banks failing. They want to consolidate these banks to the big banks where they say are safe. I remember when they were safe in 2008. Just and if we're consolidating everything into the big banks, if one of those fails, they're gonna socialize it, hyperinflating the currency even more. And then another thing too is when these baby boomers retire, they're not going to be working anymore. You're going to have less people in the workforce, and they're going to have all that money that they have. They're going to be consumers. They're going to soak up the Social Security real quick. It's going to run out real quick. and there's not gonna be enough supply to meet their demand. Um, so you're gonna see people probably trying to, like, boomers trying to be back in the workforce. Um, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. I think they're gonna be forced to be in the workforce for a long time. Pretty much. I mean, listen. It seems like we're working till we're dead. Like, I don't trust Social Security at all. I really don't trust it. I've tried to make different little investments, and they might pan out. They might not. Um, I look at what it looks like is either we're going to go continuously and it's going to be digital, or Mad Max. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is, like, when people are like, "Oh, buy gold, buy silver." I don't know what gold and silver is going to do in a digital era. You can't buy things off of Amazon with gold and silver or even paper. So you buy things with credit off of Amazon. Um, you could turn that fiat into a gift card or whatever and then go on Amazon, but it just, even if we go Mad Max, like gold, what good does gold do? I would rather have lead than gold. Um, and if we do go Mad Max, the last thing you want to worry about is sustaining your wealth. You're more worried about protecting your food and essential items that keeps you alive than some type of me- metal. Like, and also, like, I don't think they're just gonna let things turn Mad Max. I think they're just going to continue to, if banks fail, whatever, we're just gonna socialize it. That's what we're gonna do, and it's just gonna hyperinflate the currency even more. And then people aren't gonna be able to afford to eat. They're not gonna be able to afford anything, and then at that point, these rich people are gonna have to watch their shit, man. They're gonna have to watch their shit, or there has to be some transition to a different type of currency because the American dollar is on its way out. Um, I don't have any faith in it, and if you look at, like, fiat currency, it never lasts. There's nothing back in our currency besides guns or our economy. Once the rest of the world, which they are starting to, because they're starting to form their own currency, and don't be surprised, like, when these countries get into BRICS, if they sanction us, after what we've done to the rest of the world with all these endless wars, keeping our boot on people's necks, economically, destroying other people's countries economically. Don't be surprised if America gets sanctioned by the BRICS world order. Um, after all that we've done, we haven't been. Our federal government hasn't been the good guy. We've been the bad guy for a while now. They might try to come across like they're all holier than thou, but, like, no, they're not. Um, whether it's a Republican or Democrat. So yeah, that's all I have to say.